we are shifting gears into the section of cultural reverse shock of what I want to call challenges, opportunities for improvement here in Portugal from someone that returned after being abroad 20 years. We are saving for the very last the strongest reverse cultural shock we had. So stay until the very end so you can listen to that one. We've noticed, and again, from observation on the region we are, although some folks in Lisbon tell us they've observed the same behaviors, and maybe this is even a more larger scale trend, is that the youngsters, let's say young adults from like 17 to 25, you see in them kind of a lack of ambition and drive to do things. I mean, get moving, get going, earning some money. And when we were in US, we were surprised of how the spirit was so strong on the young community. I mean, you go to the supermarket and you had kids covering the shifts from the older folks that were taking vacation. You will see them do all kinds of jobs. And they were happy doing it. They were getting their money that they could spend on whatever they want. And here you don't see the same drive, and there's so much opportunities. Now we are shifting here the theme on the next ones that I'm going to tell you about, and it's all on the realm of customer service. I know when you come from US, you're absolutely spoiled when it comes to customer service, because customer service in US is superb. I mean, there's a lot of incentivization, there's the whole tipping system, there's all the review elements, so all the services normally are really good, and they really take the customer in consideration. They reply to you, they give you attention, they show willingness to make things work with you. When you come to Portugal, it's not exactly like that. And it was a bit of a shock. What we think there's such a huge opportunity here in hospitality specifically to develop really strong courses and education on customer service, on superb customer service. I mean, let's be real, with so many restaurants and bars and many of them offering similar things, what does truly differentiate is the human aspect, is the connection with the customer, is giving him a good experience. You need to see the customer not only as a walking checkbook, which it honestly is, it's going to give you money, but an opportunity as delight that customer so he comes back, so he talks good about you. And I've noticed in a lot of services that the folk you interact first, let's say in a hotel or in a restaurant or in a receptionist of a service, many times those folks clearly don't have education on dealing with people, dealing with customers. So then you have a terrible experience, and what do you think as a customer? Not coming back here for sure. And what is painful is that many times the owners of those business have no idea that's happening, because it's that person that's receiving the customer and kind of honestly kind of killing your business. So there's an opportunity there to train these folks on customer service so they provide a really good service. It comes down to paying attention to that customer that's coming through the door. Still on the customer service topic, it's going to be this one until the very end. The next one we have a beef with is, why don't you answer my freaking emails? We've sent you an email. You have an email on your website, so that means you receive emails. Just answer the email. You don't need to have the answer right now. Just tell us, we've got your email, we're going to look into it. Here in Portugal, I'm going to be honest, it's about I don't want to be mean here, but our experience has been 80% of the emails we send don't get replies. You get crickets, you're ghosted. And when you call these services, many times they're like, oh yeah, I got your email. And you're like, dude, why didn't you reply? It's something that I truly don't understand here. It's truly a reverse cultural shock because I've been in Belgium and I've worked with services in Belgium, and they will reply to my emails. They will give me attention, even if it will be like an email like, oh, sorry, we don't do that. Or, oh, sorry, I don't know. Or, sorry, we don't have time. Just, just reply, give that little bit of attention. And even in Belgium, I had a cultural barrier of the language, which we'll do a video about that, a video called Don't Be That Expat, about not learning the language. That was terrible of us, not learning French or Flemish. But again, you learn by making mistakes. And we had a cultural barrier here of the language. We wrote emails in English and still they would reply. In US, I mean, don't get us started in US. In US, obviously you would get a reply, always. But here, I honestly don't understand what's behind it. Is it because you read the email and you're like so busy that you're like, oh, I'm gonna do that, and then you like forgot about it? Or is it because you saw the email and you're like, I don't know what to say, so I'm just gonna not say anything? But not saying anything is saying something about you, is saying that you do not pay attention to that customer. So I truly don't understand. Again, opportunity there. Opportunity for a course called Communicating with the Customer, comunicando com o cliente, as melhores práticas. It could be that. So there's an opportunity. Maybe someone can do that and get some of these folks trained. This next one on customer service, I've seen videos of other folks on YouTube also kind of talking about this experience. And I'm going to reply back to them. This is not an issue because you're a foreigner. It truly happens to everybody, national, foreigner, you name it, older, younger, everyone. This one does not discriminate. And this is the fact that like a business that provides services or sells a product, many times they lead you on. They know that they have zero interest of doing that job. They do not have the time to give you. They cannot do a budget, a proposal for you, and still they lead you on. And you're there waiting and waiting and waiting and wait. Crickets, you're completely ghosted. Ghosted, really ghosted. An example is through our renovation, that happened an insane amount of times. It's like ridiculous. Our house, our main house is done, and we're still waiting for the proposal for the kitchen from one of the suppliers that came, spent like 3 hours with us, walking through the house, thinking about the kitchen. I mean, it's a business. You invested 3 hours with a customer and then you don't come through? What's going on? You spent time. Time is money. Don't you want to get some money back? Give him a proposal. Make a deal. This is one of those that I also struggle to understand. I mean, if you can't do it and you don't want to lose a customer, just tell him, be honest, say, look, right now it's insane. I'm like incredibly busy. I cannot make this happen in the time frame you want. But if you're willing to wait for us and our expertise, maybe in X amount of months we'll come back to you. It's so simple. Why? Why is it so hard to do this? So there's an opportunity here, again, on the education for business owners to really think this through, because sooner or later, right now we are still in a time where, like in the realm of renovations, it's still very busy. But who knows, in 3 years if there's this amount of work, and then what's going to happen is that you're going to have a shortage of work and potential customers. You've burned the relationship with them in the past, so why would they come back and work with you? So just be honest and tell, sorry, can't do it, but if you love our work and our expertise, I'm sure you will wait for us. Thank you very much. The very last one of our reverse cultural shock, coming back to Portugal after living abroad for 20 years. Folks in Portugal that have never lived abroad, they have no idea of the amazing social support they have. And by that I mean, you have free health care. Free, okay, it's not optimal, It has many things that go wrong, but they will not let you die. And they will not send you home after an intervention with a $100,000 bill, or they will not charge you for an ambulance that picked you up, that you were almost dying. They will not charge you $5,000. And this is what happens in US. There is no such safety net on something as primal as health. If you're not healthy, you cannot study. If you're not healthy, you cannot work. You cannot make money. And people in US honestly go bankrupt by health expenses. Here in Portugal, that does not happen because the primary care of the public system is gonna take care of you. It might, I mean, honestly, there's always, a big list to get an operation. Yes, that is true. There's big lists. But for life-changing action, it will happen. I mean, like the Michael Moore movie documentary he did a couple years ago about the US versus Europe, you will not be having to choose between your two fingers. Oh, I cut my two fingers, which one I want to keep? Because it's so expensive. That will not happen here in Portugal, and that's amazing. And I think that folks, because they've never experienced another reality beyond the one they are living in, they've always been there, they've always been in that community, they do not realize how amazing this is. The next one is education. Another pillar of being successful or having a launch pad to being successful is having education. Again, in US, they do not cover kindergarten, so creche. So for parents, they really struggle when they have both to work and they have a kid. If they put them in daycare, it's gonna cost as much as the salary of one of the parents. So that's why so many women in US stay home. When I was in US, I wonder, why does this happen? Why so many women stay home? Maybe it's a personal choice, which you have to respect. But I've noticed that many times it's not a personal choice. It's because it's cheaper that way. And here in Portugal, that's not that case. Recently, the creches are opening up even to younger ages to receive the kids so the parents can work. And I don't think folks realize that. Such a huge benefit to have your kid in a safe place where he's fed and taken care of while you work to sustain your family. And even when we go to, US covers primary all the way until before going to university. But then when it comes to university, which is something that can open doors immensely for you in your career, it's insanely expensive. Just the other day, there was a news that Ivy League, not everybody goes to Ivy League, but it's just a reference point that increased to $90,000 a year. That's a huge amount of money. I mean, if you do 3 years, you come out with a debt that is crushing, is like a house that you need to pay back. This is the only type of debt that in US does not default, from what I understand. So you need to carry that burden in your back as you start your life. And here in Portugal, that's not the case. You have scholarships, also have scholarships in US, but I don't think they are as easy and accessible as they are here. And they can put you through university. And the second thing is that is affordable. University here, so in the university where I took my degree, I studied in Lisbon doing engineering. And right now, that same degree, you pay around, I think, $700 a year if you're a EU, from European Union. If you're not from European Union, you pay $7,000. It's still very affordable, and it's even worth it for families in US to have their kids study here. I mean, if they're gonna go cross country anyway, just go across the pond into Europe, have a life-changing experience, meet new people and study there in English. And it's still gonna come up affordable. So sorry for the big long rant here, but folks don't realize it's such a huge plus to be here and have these basic things covered. It's not perfect. Yes, there's things going wrong in education, there's things going wrong in health, but Nobody's gonna let you die, and nobody's gonna let you without reading and writing and having some basic arithmetic. And even there's another benefit that is free again, that folks don't realize how lucky they are, which is having education through the Instituto de Emprego e Formação Profissional, IFP. That's an institution that when you are in unemployment, you can go there to have courses. And I've looked at the portfolio of those courses and they are really, really good. You come out with really strong skills to get started, either working for someone else, entidade patronal, or just making it on your own with your entrepreneurial spirit. So here you have it. Thank you for being here on this video until the very end. This is our experience again. Disclaimer. This is based on our life experience as someone that left Portugal very young to live abroad for the last 20 years in between US, Belgium, and this is based on that experience. When we come back to Portugal, we see, whoop, don't fall down on me on the last mile. We see so much opportunity. We want to think about its positives and challenges that can be addressed. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video until the very end. Let us know in the comments what you thought. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What's your opinion? And what else you would like to hear more from us? Thank you for following this journey.